Yeah, finally.
Hello, sorry
Hi,
about that.
Nneka.
I think we were both
Great to have you on
struggling. Okay.
board. Yeah, great to have you on board.
How are you
Honestly,
doing? Good to
I'm
see you
great.
here.
I'm great. Yeah. Okay, so people are joining us gradually. Please, when you join, I would like to see the flag of the country just to know exactly where it is, where you're actually calling from. Um, let's identify you, Nigeria, Togo, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, wherever in the world you are, just with your flag. Probably too. Okay, so more people are joining us. Nneka, it's great to have you finally. I mean, after all the
Yeah,
plannings.
it's good to be here.
Good.
Thank you for the invite.
Yeah. Okie dokie. I think we'll just wait for a few more people to join us, then we can get started.
Okay.
Yeah. If you have your questions, you can also share that. If your questions you already have ahead of time.
But meanwhile, you
So
can
let's.
introduce the topic.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, so good evening, everyone. My name is Jennifer Orisakwe, and I live in Lagos, Nigeria. I manage partnerships and outreach for Japa.ng. So Japa.ng is actually a travel community. We help we actually share content about travel, just to share people's stories, of course. And I think one unique selling thing about Japa.ng is sharing uh, very, very relatable stories about travels, and of course real life stories about travels from people all over the world. Then we help sell properties for those who like to relocate from Nigeria to any other country in the world. Something else we do is we help provide proof of funds as well. So these are all services that Jackma.ng offers. And today we are actually taking the step further with a series that we started. We're speaking to a lot of travel influencers as well as people who have traveled outside of Nigeria just to share their experiences with us. And we believe that this will help people make more informed decisions about traveling. So today I have nobody but Nneka Ezimwa. And she's our lovely guest for today. She was speaking to us about opportunities for the skilled and unskilled in France. So if you intend to travel to France, whether you are a professional, you're skilled or you're unskilled, Nneka would be sharing some insights that would be very important to your trip or to your decision making regarding visiting France. So welcome to this IG live session. So Nneka, do you want to tell us a bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a writer with
Okay.
with a background in advertising.
Oh,
I'm a
awesome.
writer and a copywriter. I
Okay.
also have an online boutique.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
It
great.
used to be a physical boutique here in France, but after COVID and I traveled out for a while, I had to
Oh,
shut it down. Yeah.
oh, interesting. So, if, for example, we in Nigeria want to patronize you, how do we get patronize you?
Well, I used to be on IG. I came on just
Okay.
because of you.
Oh, awesome,
But I'm on
awesome.
TikTok now. So
Okay.
anyone who wants to, it's the same handle, but TikTok. So it's very pink
Oh, okay.
boutique. Yeah, on
All
TikTok.
right. That's
Yeah.
good. So it
So
feels
I'm a
good to
very
finally
pink
have you here.
lady. I love pink and everything pinky and
Oh,
girly.
Everything thing.
And it translates to my clothes, my boutique, and the
Oh,
things I sell. So I do
okay.
also like private shopping, personal shopping for people too.
Oh, great.
Anything
So
female
the
related,
personal shopping, is
cosmetics,
it
and
just
usually
only
French brands.
clothing?
Sorry?
Is it just clothing?
Anything
The personal
like anything
shopping.
feminine,
Oh,
uh,
oh,
fashion, um, clothing, yeah, pret-a-porter, and accessories and cosmetics, French brands like Biotherm, things like that. All those products that you can only get in France.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Olay and things like that.
All right. So it feels good to have you here finally.
Thank you.
And I think we'll just get started and just
Okay.
to understand more. So I ask those questions to just get a feel about what you do and, get to know you better.
Yeah, that's
So what has your experience as a Nigerian in France been like so far so good?
well. It's been, how should I put it? It's been an experience. It's been a learning experience. It's been good and it's been bad. But there are two sides of the coin all the time. So there's the good and
Okay.
the bad. But generally, I would just say that it's been an experience, and we try to make the best or the most of our
Experience?
marriage.
Oh.
Were you
So
saying something? Sorry.
yes, I said the experience has been the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Not the ugly, by God's grace, yes.
Okay, not the ugly. It's just the good and the
No,
bad.
it's okay. It's not that bad yet.
All
And will
right.
never be, by God's
Okay,
grace.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you talked about being married as well. So, did you get married in Nigeria before going to France, or you got married in France?
I met my husband in Nigeria,
Oh,
and then
okay.
we both came down to France for the marriage. And then
Oh,
after the marriage, we went back to Nigeria, and then we relocated to France afterwards.
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, how did you get to meet each other? Social media?
Well, I was in advertising. He was like a brand person in advertising,
Oh,
and I worked on his publicity.
okay. And he's a Frenchman.
Yes, yes, he's fully
Oh,
French,
interesting.
fully white, fully everything French.
Wow.
French speaker on the phone. Comment vas-tu?
That's
Bonjour,
a good blend.
madame. Oui, 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 oui,
Yeah.
oui. Merci beaucoup.
Exactly. I mean, I'm just thinking of what it looks like, but I find biracial marriages quite interesting. I really do. So when did you leave Nigeria exactly?
Why did I leave Nigeria? Well, he
Oh,
wanted to
when?
come. So
When?
it wasn't.
Okay, so I said, when did you leave Nigeria? Not why.
When? Oh, okay, we left in 2016. 2016.
Oh, okay. That's been some time,
Yeah,
really. I mean,
yeah.
that's been like close to 6 years and some months. You've
Something
been
like 7 years or more,
oh,
I
seven
think.
years.
Yeah,
Okay.
or more. It should
Okay.
be more than that. Yeah.
Mm. So anytime you get back to Nigeria, how do you feel? I mean, the feeling between having to live somewhere else and coming back to Nigeria.
Well, there's always a culture shock kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, the temperature, the weather is totally different, the environment is totally different. So it's always a bit of a shock. But it's not a bad
Okay.
shock. It's a good shock because I'm with my people. I love Nigerians. I
Yeah.
love my people. And it's very
Yeah.
warm and welcoming, which is
Mm.
a kind of big difference from France, which is cold
Yeah.
and not very
Yeah.
welcoming.
Very sharp
So,
contrast.
you know, Nigerians are lively, welcoming, fun, loving.
Yeah.
I love that when I get back. Yeah.
Okay. That's great to know. So, what what was your first job like when you arrived in France?
My first job was working in a hotel, but that was our hotel. So I've
Okay.
never really worked with anyone. I've always had my own business. So the first business
Wow.
we had was a hotel that we got after we got married.
Oh,
So I worked
okay.
there. I was the director at the hotel with my husband running the hotel. It was a hotel and restaurant.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. That's hospitality
In the
management
south of France.
business.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of money in hospitality. I don't know. I mean, in Nigeria, but I don't know what it is like in France.
Yeah, there's a lot of money, but when you run your own business, there are a lot of bills to pay as well and staff to pay. Then you have to
Yeah.
consider the heating as well in the winter, which is also
Mm,
quite expensive. So there are all those things to
okay.
factor. And then also the fact that there's a season. There's a higher profitable season and a lower profitable season. The winter is lower, the summer is high and very busy.
So I would assume that maybe tourists also contribute to
Oh,
this.
definitely a lot. Yeah. And
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, there are tourists, there are outside tourists, there are inside tourists. So French people, they tour a lot within the country too. So you
Okay.
have the French who are also touring and then the foreigners who are also touring. But after COVID, things are different. The tourism industry is not as booming as it used to be, generally.
Mm,
So
okay.
it's not as
Yeah, actually.
profitable as it used to be.
I mean, a lot of conferences and seminars now hold online.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
people
After
organizations are
COVID,
able
the game
to.
changed. A lot of things changed, and things haven't yet gotten back quite on track as they used to be. Yet,
Mm.
yeah.
I think it will take a while, or maybe like another shift for things to get back to how it used to be.
I think it will take at least 5 years or more.
Mm.
And not just 5 years,
That's
but
fine.
a lot of hard work will have to go into it too.
Yeah,
Yeah, to
I see.
rebuild the way the traffic used to be for tourism here. There's still a good traffic, but it can never be the same. It's not the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Seeing that you are actually a Nigerian, I mean, married to a Frenchman and living in France, you also would come across opportunities you feel like Nigerians can explore. I mean, especially young people. So, what are these opportunities you feel like, okay, I think someone can actually leave Nigeria and come here and, try their hands on and see how it goes for them
In terms of work
in
or
terms of work? Yes, in terms of
schooling
work.
or what are we talking about?
Okay, so let's look at schooling and let's
What are
also
you
look at
coming
work.
for in the first place? Like what's bringing you here? Because a lot of things also will depend on the kind of paper you use or documents you use to come.
Yeah, that's
Is
true.
it going to be a
So let's
student
say someone
visa
is
or is
looking
it a
at,
tourism visa or is it a
okay,
business visa or you have to be a little bit more
exactly,
specific.
exactly.
Yeah.
So to be more specific, so let's say someone who came with a work visa, what kind of opportunities should the person be looking out for? I mean, generally.
Okay, let's just say that you're here and you have a work visa. Um, okay, I'm gonna give you the good side and the bad side. So the let's go with the good news first,
Okay.
then we'll go to the bad news.
All right.
So first of all, if you're in Nigeria and you get a job in Nigeria that is based in
Okay.
France, all fine and dandy for you. There may be some great jobs like that, like working at the Nigerian embassy in Paris or a good organization that employs foreigners or needs foreigners or English speakers. That's great. Um, if you're here and you're actually looking for work here, you didn't come already with a job ready made for you. The first things first is you have to be a French speaker.
Hmm.
Yeah. You'll have to be a
Yeah.
French speaker. You will have to learn French. So my advice is before you even think of coming, even if you already even have a job, that's fine. It's okay. But I would actually
Yeah.
advise you to learn French first.
So would that be like basic? Basic should be enough, I guess. I mean, just being like a basic
Well, it
speaker.
depends on what you want to do. If you would love to sell burgers at McDonald's for the rest of your life, then you can learn the basics of French, and that will be enough for you. If you like to sweep the floors and clean and pack the
Yeah.
work, you know.
Yeah.
So learn the basics if that's what you want to do. That's fine for you. But if you want
Okay.
to get something good, of course, you have to learn the language to a very advanced degree. Nobody's gonna
Definitely.
nobody's going to employ you, and then
Okay.
they're gonna have difficulty expressing or communicating with you. It's not possible.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
for
So
certain
first thing
menial
first.
jobs, even for certain menial jobs, you will still need to learn the language to a good degree, because you can't be working in a supermarket at the counter if you have to talk to a client. How are you going to do it? They don't care that
Mm.
your French is not good. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
They're there
Mm-hmm.
for the service that they want provided.
Yeah.
So you just have to speak fluently enough. So
Yeah.
a lot of people, when I tell people that when they come to France, they need to learn French or they need to have knowledge of French, a lot of people don't believe me. And then
Till
the
it hits
reality
them.
hits them right from the airport when they realize that even the signs in the airports, there's nothing in English here. And
My
nobody speaks
goodness.
English, and nobody's going to speak to
My
you in English.
goodness.
Yeah. You will get
So what if I don't?
you get a few good Samaritans who may make an effort to speak to you, but
Yeah.
it's always with due effort. It will not come naturally, and they're never happy to speak English. Let's put it like that. So it's better you learn the language. And not just that they're not happy to learn English, but they they don't even know English. Do you understand? They
Yeah.
can't. They can't. They can say a few words. They can maybe say a few sentences, but they can't speak English. So how do you want to do it? How do you
So
want to get?
signs and wonders are not going to
If you
save
want to
me.
go and buy something, if you want to make a phone call, do something, you know, how are you gonna do it? How are you gonna communicate?
So signs and wonders won't save me. Signs and wonders.
You can try it. You can come and tell me how it goes for you. One of my
Okay.
friends came to the airport, came for a meeting. Her office sent her to Paris for a meeting. She was so frustrated at the right from the airport. She said she was just upset. She was like, how can there be no English signs at all? How can this, how can that?
Oh.
And I was like, well, welcome to France. It's another
Oh.
world. Just know
For
that it's
her.
another world and forget everything you have ever thought of or experienced before. It's another world. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so first thing first, learn the language. Either whether you're a professional or whether you are unskilled, you just need to learn the language first.
If you
But what
really
kind
want
of
to
jobs are
thrive
more?
and make a difference, yeah.
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 So, but what kind of jobs are more likely to be available for people who are professionals? What are the most common jobs we do?
If you can speak French,
Yeah.
then it will also depend on your. I would say that France is a very connection-based country.
Okay.
If you don't know people, if you don't have connections, people to introduce you for jobs, it's very difficult generally, even if you speak French or not. It's better if you speak French, of course. It's much better. But if you don't know people who can introduce you to people for work also and show you how to get things done, it's very difficult. So it's good if you come, you have really, really, really good friends. Not just friends, but really good friends who will have your time, or very close family members. I would prefer if you have family, because
Okay.
it's difficult. They are very closed. It's a very closed society. The French are very closed off. They're not
Mm.
friendly. They don't engage, and they're very
Yeah.
suspicious. So if you go for work and they don't know you, and then you're black, yeah, they don't know where you're coming from. They're suspicious of you. Even if you qualify for the work, they probably wouldn't give you.
Of course.
But if somebody can point at you and say, I've worked with her, or I know her and she's good and she's this and she's that, that will help. Or if someone you know is just connected in the society, then it will help. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, do we have like a community, especially for Black people who are coming to France, that are like very welcoming and probably might be able to share bits and pieces of advices when necessary?
Okay, so I live in the south of France. In the south of France, there are less Nigerians in the south of France. And I've never
Okay.
heard of such a community. But it's a good question you asked. I may try to find out about it. But if there's such a community, it would definitely be in a place like Paris, probably.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know. There may or may not be, because in France there are mostly francophone people. The Africans who
Okay.
come to France are mostly francophone. They're not
From where?
francophones from French-speaking,
Oh,
because
African countries.
not the English, because of the language barrier. There's a language
Yeah, of course.
and communication problem. So fewer English-speaking Black people come here to stay. You have more French
Interesting.
speakers here. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that
Because
makes a lot of sense. I
of
mean,
course,
I would
you
also want
can
to
tell
travel
that it's
somewhere
going to be
and
very tough for an English speaker, and it should be easier for someone who's already naturally French speaking.
okay.
Yeah.
So that means it depends on what the person is looking out for. But what I'm also thinking of is, so for someone who is unskilled, does it mean we're just going to be flipping burgers? I don't know, like any other kind of.
Well, no, you can get other things by the special grace of God. If you keep trying and struggling, why not? Some doors may open, especially if you learn the language very well and you get inculcated into the society. You really go deep into the communities and like become one of them, make your contacts, network, and everything. You should be able to. You could make some progress, but you may have to do some. You probably would have to do some formation, what they call formation here, like
So what's
some
formation?
courses. Yeah,
Oh, okay,
like
okay.
some
All right.
diploma courses or some courses you need to do in order to advance a little bit, even if you don't have the right criteria. But you can take some of these formations and courses and try to advance yourself little by little.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So
very
are there any
important to connect with other people, familiarize yourself,
to,
soak
okay.
yourself into the community so that people
Okay.
get to trust you, or else you're not
Mm,
going to go anywhere. You'll make no progress. Yeah.
mm.
And a lot of things are complicated here. But anyway, we're talking about the good side first. Let's finish with the good side.
Okay. So I think something else that came to mind is what sectors have the job boom there in France?
I think you can get a job in any sector.
Sorry?
Engineering,
Engineering.
at the
Okay.
airport. I've seen someone on TikTok posting about her job at the airport and how she came in and how she even got her papers finally. And she struggled, and finally got a good job at the airport, which is a good story. But yeah, one of the
Okay.
reasons that was possible was because she had children which were French citizens too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for her.
So aside engineering, is there any other sector you feel that has
Of
that?
course, you can also, one thing a lot of English speakers do when they come here is that they start teaching English.
Okay, teaching English.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can
So,
teach
but
English.
is it like you
Most of them are
would,
Anglophone friends. So when they come here, that's what they do. That's what most people do.
so do they have like what would I call now, like a large number of people who are willing to learn French? Sorry, learn English rather.
Yes and no. It depends on where you live, which city you live in. I would say in places like Paris, there are lots of people who want to learn. And these days, there are a lot of people, even in the south here where I am, who want their children learn English
To learn.
because of the global, international, what should I call it? Well, English is like is like, should I even say foreign exchange right now? So if you want to go far in life, you need to know English. And a lot of people are beginning to realize that. The French are very proud of their language.
Yeah.
They don't like to compromise or learn other languages. They don't really care about all that. But these days, there's some who have realized that they will do better on the global scale, and their children too, if they could speak to them.
Of course.
So there's a
I
market
agree with
for
that.
learning and teaching English.
Mm. Okay, so
But
engineering.
then again, it's better you stay in a big city like Paris or one of the larger cities where the people are more enlightened and more open-minded.
So, but what is the accommodation like in Paris? So that's how you guys call it, Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's okay, you can call it Paris. The whole world calls it Paris. So
Oh, okay. It's a Paris then.
you have to speak like the French. Okay. So are you talking about the cost of rent?
Yes, so I'm thinking of what the cost of rent is like. I mean, I've also spoken to people who would tell me, oh, I don't live in the major city in the country where I moved to because the accommodation there is expensive. So if we're looking at a place like Paris now, or Paris actually, so what do you think the accommodation is like?
It's true. It's a good thing you brought this up because it's one of the reasons I said it's better if you have family to cushion you a little
Okay.
bit, or very, very good friends. Because in fact, I should stop saying friends. Friends always disappoint. Let's not even go there. If you put your eggs into your friend baskets, they will mess you up. So let's just say if you have family.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you have
it's better
family.
to live actually than sorry. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I
So
agree
if you
with
have
you.
family, it's better
Um,
you stay with your family
okay.
because really the rent is exorbitant in the big cities. You have to cough up a lot. In fact, you may be working for nothing at the end of the day. All your
Wow.
salary will go on your rent. Paris is
Wow. Wow.
expensive. You get places for like, if you want to get a place for like 500 euros now, it would be like a studio, a really tiny, tiny cubicle. Even for
Yeah.
a studio, that studio will be tiny. You'll just be managing to squeeze your body through when you're moving to the kitchen. So you will need a good job, or you need to stay with somebody first.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay,
Or
that
else it's
makes
better
sense.
to go to another place, not Paris. But if you go to
Mm.
another place in Paris, the problem is um, it's it's more difficult to get a job. That's
Yeah,
all.
I agree with
That's
you.
all. Yeah.
Okay. So, are there any criteria that people should know about when they're thinking of moving to Paris? I know you spoke about learning the language, of course, getting integrated into the society and all. But are there any other maybe like criteria or things people should know if they're looking to move to Paris from Nigeria?
Okay. Let's go to the negative now. I've just been talking positive. Let's go to the negative. So, first of all, you probably should have a lot of money to sustain yourself for a few years
Okay.
because it's even difficult, even if you have the money. Hello, are you still there?
Hi, Nneka. Okay.
Hello. Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. The network is quite unstable here.
So even if you have the money, um, it's difficult to get an apartment in France. They're gonna
Okay.
ask you for documents that will make you run mad.
My goodness.
They're going to ask
So
you for documents
what's
that
the
make
intent?
you
Is the
travel.
intent to make you not get an apartment? What's the intent?
Sorry?
I said, what's the intent of asking you for documents you might not be able to provide?
They have certain things they will ask you for, like a paper called a CDD or a CDI.
Okay.
These are papers that show that you're working and can pay
Interesting.
the rent. But apart from that, they will ask you for a guarant. And
Okay.
the guarant is almost impossible to get here if it's not a family member.
Okay. Interesting. So I think these are things we should note. I mean, for those of us who are looking to move to France
Yeah.
and just keep
You may be
them.
lucky and get a landlord who will waive it off, but it should be very difficult and probably should be a very horrible place you won't even want to stay in,
Wow.
or in a very
Wow.
horrible area. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so I think this would keep us more informed as to what we need to do if we intend to move to France, just to keep us more informed. So at this point, does anyone have any questions so that we would give you the opportunity to ask Nneka her for her to respond to our questions, and better inform us. Any questions?
So the other thing on the negative side you need to look out for is the racism, and the color of your skin is a setback here as well by default. Yeah, when you're looking for work, they usually go for the white people
Lighter.
first, or for their
Okay.
own people. Then you will be the last resort if they can't get people. Their people.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's
And
something
that's
to
sad.
be wary about. Yeah, they're very.
And that's sad.
The racism is racing here. Let me put it like
Wow.
that. Yeah.
Well, it's good to be informed. I mean, this will also help for anyone who is looking to move to France. Um, okay, so I don't think I'm seeing any. Okay, there's a question here. Adasa is asking, what's your favorite part of the French culture?
Oh. Uh, hmm. Maybe the curiosity. They like traveling around a lot. They like culture a lot. They
Okay.
like learning cultural things, even culture like African culture. They like to learn about African culture. They're open-minded to learn about such things. Yeah.
Interesting.
And then they have a good culture of food and wine, and the tourism is good. When you come to France, you will see a lot of beautiful places,
Interesting.
in terms of tourism. Yeah.
Okay, so I will take this as a follow-up question. And she's also asking, what is your favorite French cuisine?
um, Let me talk about two. Okay, so there's one called oxtail stew, which is really great,
Oh,
but it's not
okay.
known everywhere in France. Aligot
Okay.
it pertains to the south of France, and it's mashed potato and sausages. But the way they make the mashed potato, cheese, and sausage, they make it in a way that the mashed potato draws. So it reminds you a bit of pounded yam when you're eating it. So
I see.
yeah,
The
so
way
it's
you
really
said
similar
it
to our
sounds
pounded
that way.
yam soup.
Any more questions? Okay, I do not see any more questions in the comment box, but of course, if you would like to ask anything about relocating to France or living in France, you can send us a message and we'll get across to Nneka. Or at the same time,
Oh,
She said,
that's
"Oh,
right
sounds
there.
delicious."
She's the one who was talking. I just saw sounds delish. Yeah, you should come and
Yeah.
taste it sometime. It's very
So,
delish. Thank you for the question.
yeah. So you can
Ah.
send us your questions. You can send us your inquiries about living or relocating to France. And at the same time, you can follow Nneka at very pink things underscore France. I hope I'm correct.
Yes, yes. But
Oh,
it's
okay, great.
TikTok, not really Instagram. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So she's actually more active on TikTok. She just
Yeah.
came to Instagram for our sake today. So it's been great having you, Nneka. Thank you so much
Thank you
for
so much for
honoring my
having me. It's been
invitation.
fun
And
talking with you.
I have learned. And in fact, I'm going to take up my French lessons very serious now, knowing that I really
Oh,
need
yes,
to know my
yes.
French.
Oh, that's something I should add. Come to think of it.
Yeah.
If you want to study, uh, for the students, you can come and study French or whatever you want to study here. It's
Oh,
very
awesome.
cheap. It's very cheap. That's one thing I used to
Okay.
tell people. As of 2 years ago, it was actually free to study in France in the universities.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you know you want to come for school, it's
Yeah.
it's one of the cheapest places. It was just 2 years ago that they made foreigners start paying, and even the foreigners paying now, you can still get universities that are dirt cheap compared to other
Oh,
parts of the world. You can get universities where you pay just 80 euros per year, or 160.
okay.
Though you can get up to 400 or
So
500.
that's another
It's
premium
really
information
cheap.
for us.
The only thing you have to factor in is probably your accommodation.
Information as well. So if
Yeah. And
anyone
another
has,
thing, on the negative side, documentation. When it
yes.
comes to documentation, it's very difficult. Getting documents and papers, getting your documents together, getting papers and things done. France is known as one of the most difficult countries
Wow.
in terms of processing papers. It is terrible. You stay for years and years. They're very slow. The government system is very slow. And they ask for so many documents when they want to process something for you. Even the French people complain and cry about it,
About it.
not to talk of the foreigners. So that's something a bit negative that you should bear in mind too when coming here. That prepare your mind for difficulty in terms of processing of papers and things like that.
Yeah. Okay, this is great to also put in our archives as well while we're making our moves to travel to France or to relocate to France. So these are things you should have in mind. If you still have more questions, please send them our way. Send them to us at in our DMs, or you can also reach out to Nneka at very pink things underscore France on TikTok because that place is more. Like I said, we have to drag her from TikTok to Instagram. So, Nneka, thank you very much once
Can
again.
I add one more? I spoke about
Don't take this for granted. Yeah,
be aware. A lot of people who are not racist as well.
of course, of course.
Yeah.
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 All right.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really loved speaking to you. I really loved
Thank
listening
you
to
so much.
you
Same
and
here.
hearing all your insights. And I'm
Thank you
hoping
so
this
much.
will also be very beneficial to our listeners and audience.
All right.
All
Thanks for
right. Thank you
having
so
me.
much.
All
All
right.
right.
Take care. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Okay.